Coming up on Good Morning Texas, take a look at your UTSG candidates.
Check out an interesting take on an art class.
And a UT program that gives young girls an insight into engineering.
All this and more coming up on Good Morning Texas.
Robillard.
And I'm Ryan Terrebonne. With us today is our weather anchor, Jan Ross Piedad.
And news anchor, Cassandra Jaramillo. And welcome to a very special Good Morning Texas, sponsored by the Peace Corps. Due to the drought, you may be expected to pay more for your water as Lake Travis remains low. Austin's water revenue came $27 million less than budgeted last year because customers cut back. So far this year, the agency lags $10 million behind. Since the City Council approved a rate increase last year, we may very well see a second increase in the near future. If approved, the act will most likely be into effect in late November.
Voting in the student government election starts in just 1 hour, and the campaigns are pulling out all the stops to attract voters who are still undecided. Some student organizations are choosing to endorse one of the campaigns, but as Christopher Adams reports, others are leaving it up to the voter to decide.
We've had so much momentum this last week, and now we just need to make sure we keep it going and finish on top here.
We like where we're at and find everything out on Thursday.
The end is in sight. Students will start casting their votes on Wednesday, but many are still undecided.
I do not know yet.
Student political organizations here on campus traditionally endorse a candidate, but this year many, like the University Democrats, chose not to.
We just didn't feel like any of those campaigns really represented our values, and we didn't want to put our name on something that wasn't representative of our beliefs.
The Interfraternity Council has also decided not to endorse a candidate, instead leaving the campaigns to speak for themselves.
We decided it's more important that the student body not just vote based off endorsements, but more try and be informed voters.
The college Republicans have chosen to endorse a campaign this year, Wilson Carter.
One of the tickets is going to win, so we need to decide who would be the better candidates for president and vice president, and we thought that was pretty clear.
I'm just glad that they saw something in us to put their trust in us as candidates and believe in our vision for the school and really look forward to acting it out.
Of course, an endorsement doesn't guarantee a win. It all depends if the campaigns can get out the vote.
What matters is making sure you speak at every single organization you can, ones that have 200, 300 people, making sure you have representation all across campus rather than in a small room.
Christopher Adams, Good Morning Texas.
Students can vote in the elections starting at 8 this morning through 5 p.m. tomorrow. Just log on to utexasvote.org to cast your vote. You know, I just really want to stress the importance of voting and being an active student, because I know these candidates really work hard on this and spend a lot of time on it.
Yes, they do. And in fact, this time last year, I was running my own campaign for the College of Communication representative. So I understand the stress and the pressure they're going through. They have been preparing for months on end. So do your part. Every vote counts. Make sure to vote today and tomorrow. Yes, the Cockrell School of Engineering celebrated National Engineering Week this last week. The school ended the celebration with an event to introduce young girls to engineering. Lukmina Daney shows us the goal to get more women into the traditional male-dominated field.
800 volunteers were at UT this Saturday at Girls' Day. Engineering students presented experiments and projects to more than 2,700 girls in 1st through 8th grade. UT's Women in Engineering program hosted the event, hoping to change the perception of the field for girls.
They want that creativity. They want to be able to know that they're going to change the world with what they're doing. And so we're here to kind of change that messaging and make sure that they know by doing engineering they can still make a difference in the world.
Schools from San Antonio and around Central Texas attended, and parents said they brought their daughters out to inspire them to focus on new things.
Help empower them to focus on their grades and their intelligence as opposed to looks, and start helping inspire them to try hands-on things so it's not as, quote, scary or, you know, kind of far-reaching as you would think.
Programs like Girls' Days at UT, organizers are hopeful the number of girls in engineering will increase. In 2013, 24% of UT's enrolled engineering students were female, and this past year, the number of women in the admitted freshman class increased to 29%. Chemical engineering major Miranda Pacheco says she volunteers to be an example that girls can do anything.
I think it's really good for the girls to come and do an activity, do it their own way, design their own thing, and build their confidence that they can do anything, and not only just to be an engineer, but to do anything. If they want to go be a biology major, study physics, they can do that too.
I noticed that there are a lot of Girl Scouts at the event, which I love because growing up I was very involved in Girl Scouts. And also starting at a very young age, I knew I wasn't as math and science savvy, hence why I am a communications major.
Same here.
I think what's so great though is that events like this spark interest in these girls, and you never know what it's going to be, whether it's an activity that they're doing or someone talking about their career path, so it's great that we host events like that too.
I think it's important to get like an idea of what a career is, because sometimes you may want to do something and then when you actually go to do it, it's not exactly what you expected, so it's a good little taste of everything.
Definitely. I love how it was on UT's campus as well.
Yeah.
It's a great,
accessible environment.
Yeah, very accessible, and I just love how everyone was able to go and join and just have a great time. It seemed like they were having a great time.
Yeah. If you are ever feeling creative and run out of ideas from Pinterest, take a visit to Painting with a Twist, a painting class with a twist.
Painting with a Twist inspires anyone's creative side to come out for this unique experience of an art class mixed with a little fun on the side. Bring your favorite beverage, invite a few friends, and spend some time creating your own masterpiece.
So each session is going to be either 2 hours or 3 hours, and for the 2-hour paintings it's $35, and the 3-hour paintings are $45, and then our Paint Your Pet class is $55.
The Painting with a Twist Burnett Road location offers a variety of Austin-inspired scenes. This session's muse, our very own Bevo. Starting with a clean canvas and a helpful outline, patrons follow a step-by-step session and handle a host of brushes and colors for their own art piece to take home.
You bring in your own wine, and your own snacks, and then we provide all the paints, all the canvases, easels, cups, and all of that. You should definitely come down if you've never painted before and you've wanted to paint but you didn't know how to approach it. It's really great for people who are definitely crafty and want to try something new, and it's just really nice to have this new experience and say you've painted a painting, and then also be in a fun environment where you can be drinking and hanging out with your friends. And it's also it's a different way of going out on a Saturday night. Instead of going to the bar and just sitting there, you can still be drinking and having fun, but just being proud of something you've done that night.
For Good Morning Texas, this is Jan Ross Piedad. Well, I had a really good time shadowing this class. As you can see, they made a Bevo. They painted this gorgeous portrait that you could take home, and it's something I want to be able to come back and do with my roommate.
Do you know how to paint, Jana? I don't know how. So if I had to take a class like this, I'd probably
I know,
really simple.
That's why I said shadowing. I mean, in addition to, filming and asking questions, it would have been too much, but, I'm definitely coming back.
That's what I was thinking. My family back home does this, and those paintings look a lot better than the ones they do back home.
Of course. And an annual handbag drive returns to the Austin area, benefiting victims of domestic violence. I take a further look on how handbags provide relief for victims of domestic violence. These policemen aren't just showing off their new handbags. They are donating them to provide relief for victims of domestic violence.
We are a true believer in that everybody needs to be treated with respect. And there's going to be individuals that are in abusive relationships and don't know how to get out.
The Texas Advocacy Project provides free legal services statewide to victims of domestic violence, sexual assault, and stalking. They encourage victims to call their hotline number, which can be found online and within the handbags donated for Handbags for Hope.
It's an outreach campaign that we use to get our hotline numbers in the hands of victims of violence who happen to be in shelters throughout the state of Texas.
You can donate your new or gently used handbags here at the Travis County Sheriff Office, located at 5555 Airport Boulevard.
we get those purses to the shelters before Mother's Day. And then that way, if there's a child that happens to be in shelter with his mother on Mother's Day, he's able to pick a purse and give as a gift.
By giving their mothers a handbag, children have the opportunity to give the gift of a violence-free future. Handbags for Hope has shipped more than 21,000 handbags since the campaign began 7 years ago. Survivors of domestic violence support the cause.
Had I known about Safe Place, Texas Advocacy, the Austin Children's Shelter, all these organizations are doing this because it's a need for it.
A need to stop domestic violence. The Handbags for Hope drive continues through March 21st. Rachel Robillard, Good Morning, Texas.
The Texas Advocacy Project and the Travis County Sheriff Office do an amazing job coordinating this donation drive. I couldn't help myself but donate a couple handbags for such a great cause.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's so wonderful that they make use out of old handbags, because I know myself, I have like 3 bags that I've never used, and it's so great that people can go and donate for such a good cause.
Yeah, I'm sure I can pull out a few in my closet at home and in the dorm to contribute.
It's going along with recycling. You know how we are in Austin. It's a great way to wrap it up. Don't go anywhere. Coming up next, a look at this week's weather forecast.
And a look into the Peace Corps. We'll be right back.
Welcome back, and for those of you just joining, we'd like to thank our sponsors, the Peace Corps.
And now for some local news. What's happening around town, Cassandra?
Well, Rachel, the Austin food trucks are making a move down to Barton Springs Road. That's right, the food court is set to open mid-March, and after the major food trucks on South Congress close, property owners are looking to create new ideas and bring popular food trucks to Barton Springs Road. And the world's largest telescope is getting ready for construction. The giant Magellan recently passed reviews over the course of several months. UT faculty took part in its design too. The director of the McDonnell Observatory said that the telescope will be a great benefit to the University of Texas Astronomy Department. And it's no surprise that traffic is such an issue in the city of Austin, but Mayor Lee Leffingwell said in his final State of the City address that it's rail or fail. Leffingwell believes that an urban rail and new road system is needed desperately in the city. An approximate 110 people move to the city each day, and that brings about 70 cars to the road. The first phase of voting for funding the new system will be in November.
Thanks, Cassandra. Now, the weather has been all over the place this week. What can we look forward to, Jan Ross?
And just when we thought we were in the clear for spring, make sure you carry an umbrella and wear your coat today, because this rain we see outside will continue throughout the day, with expected rainfall to total about 1 inch. We are currently at 45 degrees, which happens to be our high today. The low is 36, with strong winds heading north up to 22 miles per hour and high humidity at 73%. This evening will open up to being partly cloudy, with temperatures staying in the late 30s. But there is good news. Thursday's forecast shows sunny skies and no chance of rain at a high of 60 and a low of 44 degrees. Friday will signal a return to the 70s. The beginning of this weekend will be cloudy with patches of sun and moderate winds, while Sunday shows a 40% chance of scattered thunderstorms and high humidity. But unlike today, Sunday's highs are expected in the upper 70s and lows in the mid-40s. Next week is expected to start much like the past few days of overcast mornings and afternoon sunshine. From all of us here at Good Morning Texas, stay warm and dry, Longhorns.
Thanks, Jan Ross. I don't know about y'all, but I can't handle the cold and the rain at the same time. If it's not snow, I'd take one or the other.
No, but I'm very much looking forward to wearing my rain boots this evening.
Now don't go anywhere, because after the break, Good Morning Texas reporter Madeline Christensen interviews a UT Peace Corps recruiter.
Stay tuned for more Good Morning Texas. Welcome back to Good Morning Texas. We have Madeline in Studio C with Christy Stillwell to discuss National Peace Corps Week.
Hello, I'm Madeline Christensen, and since this week is National Peace Corps Week, we have with us UT Peace Corps recruiter Christy Stillwell. Welcome.
Thank you.
Thank you for being here. So, first of all, can you tell us what is the Peace Corps?
Sure. The Peace Corps is an agency of the federal government of the United States. It's an opportunity for people to go abroad and volunteer and commit 2 years of their lives to help other people around the world. And we are celebrating National Peace Corps Week. It's been 53 years ago today that Peace Corps was founded back in 1961. And it's still going strong. It's still a fantastic opportunity for people to go out there and help us accomplish our mission, which is to promote world peace and friendship. And right now we have over 7,000 volunteers that are doing that in 65 countries around the world.
Oh, wow. So what are the requirements to be in the Peace Corps?
Well, you know, the Peace Corps doesn't have that many requirements. There are a few firm and fast ones. You do have to be at least 18 years old, and you do have to be a U.S. citizen. Beyond that, we really look at different qualifications for choosing our volunteers. You do have to qualify for some programs with a certain degree. Other programs we look for different kinds of work experience. So we look at the entire package of an applicant. We look at academics, but we also look at job experience and volunteer experience and maybe involvement in student organizations and leadership experience.
Right. So the application process, if I can call it that, is it year-round? Is it just specific times, or what's the application process?
Very good question. Because this is an agency of the federal government, the application process does tend to take a little bit longer. Right now we're averaging 9 to 12 months for the entire application process. Wow. And like I said, as long as you meet those minimum qualifications, anyone can apply. But you want to apply early. You want to apply between 9 and 12 months before you're available to go and wanting to go. So if you're graduating in May this year and you were to apply right now, hopefully we'd be looking at positions leaving for that person around the end of the year or the beginning of next year.
So what is the commitment like for someone who's going to be in the Peace Corps?
Well, it's not easy. You know, the slogan for Peace Corps historically has been the toughest job you'll ever love. We go to some of the most underdeveloped and poorest countries in the world. So, like I said, it's not a piece of cake. But that being said, it is a very rewarding, challenging experience. It's life-defining, it's life-changing. It's an opportunity for us to provide really valuable human assistance to the countries that need it. Mm-hmm. But then the other goals that we have in Peace Corps are to share American culture with the people of the countries where we serve. And then when our volunteers come back home after they're done with their 2-year commitment abroad, their third goal is to share the culture of the countries where they served with Americans back home. So it really brings it full circle.
That's great. I think that's awesome. So when people decide to go out and sign up for the Peace Corps and go do their 2 years, do they get to choose where they're going, or are they assigned, or how does that work?
You know, until very recently it was just apply and go where we tell you to go. And what's really exciting is that just in the last few months, that has completely changed within Peace Corps. You are now allowed to state a preference down to the country where you would like to go. If you have wanted to live in the Philippines your entire life, and you want to apply to Peace Corps for the Philippines program, you are welcome to do that. Now, of course, you do have to qualify for one of our jobs in that country and qualify with all of the rest of the application procedures. But now you are able to state a preference for where you want to go, and that's very exciting.
Wow. So you said you had 7,000 people, correct, doing it right now?
We have over 7,000 in 65 countries right now.
And how many of those have come from UT?
UT has a very strong relationship with Peace Corps. We are actually the #1 producer of volunteers in the Southwest region for all universities in an 11-state Southwest region. So we're historically a very high producer of volunteers, and not just from UT, but from the Austin area in general. And I think that's not surprising when we consider the type of people that live in Austin who really want to help other people.
Okay, so if, say, I or other students were interested in getting some more information about the Peace Corps, are there any events we can attend to get that information?
Absolutely, and this being Peace Corps Week, we have a really special big event this week on Thursday evening at 5:30 p.m. here on campus in Mary Gearing Hall, that's GEA, room 105. We're having a returned volunteer panel, like a Q&A session, with volunteers that have served in all different parts of the world, in all different job sectors and at all different times. And people can come and hear what their stories, what their experiences were really like. They get to ask any questions they want, like what was it really like, and learn about application tips and helpful hints for being a Peace Corps volunteer. So they can reserve a spot for that presentation by going to peacecorps.gov/events. And if they just look up the event, they can reserve a spot. It's not necessary, but there's going to be free pizza, and that will help us know how many people.
So if we can't make it to that event, that we can just go to that website as well?
Well, if you can't go to that event, you can go to peacecorps.gov/events and look up events in any area across the United States. I also have a local website. I work here at UT at the International Office. And if you go to world.utexas.edu/Peace Corps, all of our local UT events are on there. And I have coffee chats twice a month. I have information sessions on campus all the time, and I usually have tables at career fairs. So there's lots of opportunities where people can come and get information, or they can just come see me at the International Office. I'd be glad to talk to them.
All right, well, that sounds great. I know I'd love to travel and help the world, so if Peace Corps sounds like something I might be interested in. So, well, thank you for sharing all that information with us today.
Thank you. Thank you.
And stay tuned, because when we come back, Ryan and Rachel are going to be showing us some yoga moves.
Welcome back. Today we're talking to Noah Villalobos from Black Swan. Thank you so much for joining us today, Noah.
You're so welcome.
Yes, of course. And so what influenced you to become a yoga instructor?
I've been a practitioner since high school, and I wanted to take my practice to the next level. Teaching is how you do that, because you learn when you teach other people the way to do things. So I joined the Black Swan Yoga Teacher Program, and my practice has been elevated to levels that I could have never conceived before.
Of course. And so why is Black Swan a place to go? Well, how does it differ from other yoga places?
Black Swan is an interesting studio. We're a donation-based, no membership studio that caters to people who just want to come in and do yoga with none of the contracts, none of the extra portions that other studios add. It's perfect for the college student because you don't have to pay a membership. You come in and do yoga when you need to, and then you leave.
That's really awesome. Why do you think it's important for people to get involved in yoga?
Yoga is a holistic approach to wellness. It calms not only the mind, but the body as well. And so when you're looking for a fitness regimen, yoga is the best foundation to start off with, building core strength, building strength in the mind, and benefiting all of your other fitness endeavors.
Of course. And so can you show us some core strength? What is your favorite move? I definitely need to work on that core for spring break, especially coming up very, very soon.
Well, I love dynamic poses. For example, coming forward, I can lift my foot over my head, lift up, extend back, and then bring my foot through back here. Lift back, up, and then maybe even...
Oh my goodness. That's a lot of core strength that I just don't have. Wow, and so what is that called?
Well, that's a progression between several different various poses. And that's normally how we structure flow classes at Black Swan.
Okay. And so, yeah, what kind of classes do you teach? You said flow.
Mm-hmm.
Are there other types of yoga classes?
There are power yoga classes, flow yoga classes, and sweaty yoga classes that we offer at Black Swan.
Wonderful. And so can you teach us some more moves, not as
some beginner moves maybe we can start with? Very sure.
Okay.
Stand tall. Now this is a very simple movement. Breathe in and reach your arms up towards the sky. Yeah, so lift up high, lift your chin and chest, and then exhale, bring your arms back down. Simple yoga moves, right? Inhale, reach back up. And then forward fold. Reach your forehead down towards your knees. So already activating stretches in the lower legs moving your breath with your body. And then inhale, reach back up. Exhale, fold back down, and scoot your hands forward. Get in a plank position.
Oh boy, that's core work.
This is where the core work comes in. So right now you're feeling it activate throughout your core, your shoulders, extending through your legs. This is a full body exercise right now. Now lift your hips up towards the sky. Bring your heels towards the ground. And this is downward dog now. Extend through your legs.
Can we move our arms back?
Yeah. This is the standard yoga pose, sort of like the foundational. Sink your chest a little bit lower towards the ground. Good. Now, inch back forward into your plank pose. Step your hands in between. Step your feet in between your hands. Nice. And then reach back up towards the sky. Lift your fingertips high, and then arms back down at your sides. And that's a little bit of a yoga flow for you.
Okay, I like it. And so what are some other types of yoga poses you do? So that's the basic flow. And so what other type of yoga poses are there?
Well, there's also breathing exercises, which allow you to tap into more of a mind aspect of yoga practice. For example, when you take a comfortable seated position, arms comfortably on your knees, breathe deep, and then exhale completely. And then inhale, exhale. Now, this active engagement of breathing is something that we don't do enough during everyday life. You take thousands of breaths throughout the day. However, how much attention do you pay to your breath?
Not very much.
Pretty much.
Yeah, so yoga is an hour of just paying attention to that which is most precious, most life-giving, the breath.
I like it.
Yeah.
Okay, awesome.
Thank you so much, Noah. It's been great having you in studio.
For sure.
Thank you.
Yes, of course. And so how do you end every practice? Is it namaste?
Yes, hands together. Namaste.
Namaste.
Well, that's it for us today. Thank you for tuning in, and a special thanks to the Peace Corps for being our part of our show this week. For more Good Morning Texas, visit our website. For more of Peace Corps, visit our website at world.utexas.edu/Peace Corps.
Yes, and for more Good Morning Texas throughout the week, you can follow us on Twitter at GoodMorningTX. Have a marvelous morning.
You're